What is happening?
I don't know. Here we go.
3.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, math time is here. I've got an Oreo on my book. Page 324, we're talking about law of sines and the ambiguous case thereof. And looking at this information, let's label this. So here is angle C. That appears to be about a 70-degree angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Which of these is the opposite side?
That side.
The one that you didn't draw yet.
A20.
Yeah, the one that I didn't draw yet.
Is it A? Is it A?
No.
Is it B?
C.
No, C is the opposite because little c is always opposite capital C. And then A would be one of my adjacent sides. I'm going to specifically label it the one that's up here because I always like drawing these in exactly the same arrangements. So here's my 25 for A.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're excused. And then C is 24. And the question is, will 24 land at just barely
No, it will
long
not.
enough to reach?
No,
will
no,
it not reach
no.
at all?
I disagree.
Twice.
Or will
No.
it hit twice?
I disagree.
And the way we find out is we got to figure out what the height is.
I disagree.
And height is equal to 25 times sine of 70.
Jason times sine angle.
When did we learn that? How did I miss that?
It's on the little chart. But yeah, the adjacent side times the sine of your angle. So 25 times sine of 70, and I get 23.49.
So that's the height.
No.
2, 3.
What?
Yes, that's the height.
Yeah.
You lied to me, Jay.
That's this height right here. And because 24 is longer than that, I
It
do
does.
fully expect... that's a gross line.
Yeah!
I do expect that it'll hit at 2 locations.
How do you know it's going to hit at 2 locations?
Because like a swinging door, it's going to hit this wall in 2 spots.
I disagree.
All right?
I bet that.
What, you just estimated
Because 24 is longer than 23.49. It's long enough that if this side is really 24, it can only form a triangle in these
So
two
you just
ways.
make up another triangle because you wanted to.
It just barely.
Nope, we had the chart.
It
Look at the pictures in our Libro as
Just
well.
barely hits by half a unit.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we
So
have
24
to
and
do every
24.
single time.
Yep.
That's so easy.
Now let's see. So this is angle A down here. This is angle B up here. This angle right here would be angle A prime.
Doesn't matter. It just said five.
And here's little b prime. And
Why are you doing this?
little b is this
Oh
whole
my
length.
God!
And then angle b prime would be right here. All right? So there's 2 separate cases. If you really want, if you want to draw them as 2 separate triangles, you could. You don't have to draw them on top of one another like this. But I don't know, whichever way is easier. So looking at this, let's find the scalene triangle rather than the obtuse one. How could I find one of the other pieces of information about the scalene triangle?
I don't just know.
You're the math wizard.
Perhaps. I wonder what level math wizard I am. But anyways. So I know an angle, I know a side. I only know one angle, so I think I'm going to have to do law of sines, right? But which angle can I find? I know little a, so I could find big A next, right? So I'm going to say sine of big A over 25 will equal sine of 70
Oh, big A is
over 24. So A is going to equal the sine inverse. I would have multiplied both sides by 25, so it would have been 25 24ths
Oh my God, I can't write this fast.
times sine of
I
70.
don't have like a little pad that you can just.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So let's see. Let's plug that in the calculator. 25 24ths times sine of 70. And I get A is, I'm just using equal signs because I don't feel like writing squeakles. 78.1941. 1941. World War II.
78.1941.
So why are you doing
Because I would have multiplied both sides by 25 here, and then to get A by itself, I would have had to get rid of the
Oh,
sine.
you're making like a whole process.
Yeah, I skipped a bunch of steps.
But
Just 'cause we've got so
You
much.
can just skip that step, right?
Yep.
No.
So guys, so we just found angle A. We just found angle A. A prime. All right. Notice
so you have
A
to
prime
find-
is actually going to be supplementary to angle A. So that's going to be the doorway into finding our second triangle. But let's keep working with our first triangle. For
Also, we have to find the
starters.
angles of each triangle.
Yes.
That's why it takes
Yes.
so long.
Donde tu?
That's why you
Where have
only
you
gave us 3
been?
problems.
So let's see. I can find angle B. How?
Let's see.
180 minus the sum of C and A, right? That's minus C plus
B
A.
equals 180 parentheses
So-
C plus A. So B equals
70 plus second answer. And I get 31.8059 degrees for angle B.
Oh, I thought you said 9. What a minute.
And now that I know angle B, I can find side B.
Oh my god.
How?
I don't know.
Using law of sines,
Yeah.
because I can set up a fraction of B over the sine of angle B, right? Blah, blah, blah.
Blah.
So B over sine of 31, I'm just going to abbreviate, is equal to, and I should compare it to the C's because I have big C and little c. Those are
Right.
right. So I'll have 24 over sine of 70.
Sin of 70.
And I do a little bit of work, and I'll get 24 times sine of my 31-ish thing
5 in.
over my sine of
Oh.
70 thing.
I thought that said inches.
Calm down, friend. Just keep writing and listening and ask constructive questions if you have them. So 24 times the sine of my second ants divided by sine of 70, close
B
parentheses.
equals 34.
13.4608. So there is my first possible triangle
Oh, that's only one
formed by this. Yeah, weren't you? Didn't you watch the video from the other one? Come on now, friend. Come on now. So that is the scalene larger triangle. Now we're going to figure out the obtuse and smaller triangle. All right? So to figure out A prime, how do I do that? A prime is supplementary to angle A because this is an isosceles triangle here. Base angles theorem says that these two angles are congruent. Here's angle A, here's angle A, here's angle A prime. Those are a linear pair. Linear pairs add up to 180 degrees because they're supplementary. Bam.
Can you go down real quick?
Blam, blam.
Yeah.
13.
Oh, wow. Wait, just.
Okay, perfect.
Just
Thanks.
follow along, friend. I'd like to just have a little bit less complaining recorded on my videos for future students.
You can always bleep it out.
You're bringing everybody down.
Oh, wow.
101.8059 degrees is what I get
If
for
you're watching this video,
angle
please
A
get it
prime.
as soon as you
A prime.
can.
And now that I know A prime, I can find B prime. And question, is B prime going to be larger or smaller than angle B?
It's going to be large.
Why?
So B prime, what's B prime? B.
Because.
It's gonna be smaller.
Smaller,
Mhm.
right? Because angle B was this whole angle here. Angle B prime is this angle here. And I can find angle B prime by doing 180 minus the sum of angle C and my new A prime.
A prime equals 180.
Optimus prime.
Equals A.
So I get angle B, wow, this is a small angle, 8.1941
1941
degrees.
degrees.
And now, the last thing I need to find is what? I need little b prime. And is little b prime larger or smaller than big B? Or than little b no prime?
Oh, small.
Smaller, right? Because here's little b, here's little b prime, right? So it's going to be smaller. And the way I do that is the same setup here, except I'll use b prime instead of the original b. So little b prime is equal to sine of 8, whatever, equals 24 over sine of 70. Notice there's no c prime or capital C prime because those stayed the same in both cases. This angle is 70 degrees in both of those triangles. This is 24 in both of those triangles. Also, little a prime does not exist because 25 is the same in both of those triangles. All right, so we truly have two separate triangles going on here. So 24 times the sine of this 8-ish degree angle over sine of 70. I'm going to use my full approximation of sine 8, or the 8 degree. Oh, in a moment. So 24 times the sine of second answer divided by sine of 70, close parentheses. And I get little b prime is equal to 3.6402.
So another question. So when you know you have to put the number in top and side.
For my setup for law of sines, sometimes I've been putting the angles on top, and sometimes I've been putting the sides on top. For me, I just choose. Here, friend, come on. Listen, I have an awesome explanation here, and you're missing it, and you won't know it for tomorrow's quiz. So, exactly. So you should follow along. So I put the sides instead of the angles on top when I'm looking for a side, where I put the angles on top when I'm looking for an angle. And it just makes the solving a little bit easier where I can save that additional step of flipping both sides. So I just preemptively do that. So yeah, so it's a lot of work, but I found both cases, both types of triangles. I was even able to figure out how many triangles there were to begin with, and that is the idea. So I leave the rest to you, friends. Goodbye.